in the last conference call was not open to everybody. I thought it was open to everybody. And then suddenly I got an email from one or two to say that why we only call selected shareholders for the last briefing. My apology. I think I'll make sure that will not happen again. And then if there is anything we want to have chat on, it must be open to everybody. That is our standard SOP. And I was not aware that only a few were coming in, but it was initiated not by us, as I understand it. It was initiated by the shareholders themselves. Is that right, Sasha? Yeah. But anyway, forget about that. It's gone. In water under the bridge. Let's move forward. Roberto, please.
Can you see? Can you see stuff?
Coming up. Yes, Roberto. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So this is really the same presentation that is on the Upland website right now, and has been for a few days. I'll be speaking particularly about Tunisia, but let me go through very quickly the corporate slides, so to speak. Okay, so there is here statutory state disclaimer, which always applies, and I invite everybody to read it carefully. A quick slide about the management, and you probably are familiar with everybody here. A quick reminder of what are the current license of Upland. Of course, the Saouaf prospecting license in onshore Tunisia, and this interesting block in the offshore the UK sector of the North Sea. There are significant opportunities coming up in Southeast Asia, and the company is well positioned to take advantage of any development which is expecting soon. Here we are. That's Tunisia, and that is the first slide, which starts with a picture of an outcrop, and I like that very much because the outcropping geology is a great help in this onshore license, and we're going to see why. Tunisia is characterized by political stability, I have to say, a welcoming commercial environment. We are talking about a block that is onshore in a proven oil and gas province. There is producing oil and gas fields to the east, to the south of the license. There are numerous oil shows and gas shows, oil shows within the block, which is of particular interest from a technical viewpoint. The terms are good. There is an extensive database of vintage data, the wells and seismic available from ETAP, which is being digested now. And I would say that here this semi-last bullet point is quite important, because among the several oil and gas ships in the permit area, there is one which really attracted my attention. That is a very special composition oil, which cannot be related to other source rocks. So it is probable that this particular light oil is indicative of a yet another deeper Paleozoic source rock. And Paleozoic source rocks in North Africa are very, very prolific. So as a consequence of that, I would really like to speak about this transformational new play, the gas condensate subsalt play that is being investigated now. The Saouaf prospecting license is a very large license. It's above 4,000 square kilometers, and there are several conditions which I think are particularly favorable. The The ETAP is the state Tunisian state oil company, and is in joint venture with Upland on this particular block. There is a bank guarantee of $1 million in place, which will be released as soon as the work, the commitment work is carried out. And the commitment is reprocessing some vintage seismic data and acquiring 300 kilometers of new seismic lines. The work program, which started on this block, is consists in inspecting and ingesting. That is a technical word to say how to prepare and upload a complex data of several different formats, etc., into interpretation software. Two particularly. One is a geographical information system, which allows to put everything in context, including regional data, published papers, maps, everything is all of this is uploaded and geo-reference. Means that a map is displayed in actually the place where the data, where the map belongs, in a precise way, using the geographical coordinates of the details on the map. And the other important software is the state-of-the-art geoseismic interpretation software. We have two available, Kingdom and Petrel, and we are using both. And Petrel, frankly, is the state-of-the-art in this particular sector. So that is important to mention, because nowadays big and small companies have the same tool set. Decades ago, only the majors had the advantage of being technologically advanced, but nowadays everybody has access to the best interpretation software on the market. The next phase of the work program, which has been completed, is the document analysis, conceptual and data-wise, and the documentation of new plays. And particularly, I'm going to dwell on this. I'm going to explain that better in the next slides. The subsalt play, which is quite interesting, frankly. In the next phases will be the finishing the interpretation of the geological and geophysical data, and generating a lead and prospect inventory, including also a quantification. So up to now, we haven't issued numbers yet, and with a risk and ranking procedure. And this would allow the selection of the most suitable vintage seismic lines for reprocessing, leading to the position and the justification of the design, survey design, I would say, of the new seismic acquisition campaign. I'm saying that because the area is covered by various vintages of seismic data, but up to now, the traditional target, have been confined to the shallower horizons and reflectors. And so, in order to see the results, stressing the importance of the correct design of the acquisition parameters for the next seismic campaign, aiming at a deeper, more important objective. So this slide here is been taken from actually the ETAP website, but is interesting because shows the pipelines which run through the block. In particular, one of the most important pipelines, gas pipeline in the Mediterranean area actually is the Transmed here. And there is a pumping station, a compression station right here in the heart of the block, next to this Budabu structure, which is one of the key features of the block. This picture shows the block limit, and in shading here you see the relief, the topographical relief. So there's the mountains and hills here, and this area outlined in yellow marks the place of a very large antiform, anticline, which, in my opinion, deserves a lot of attention. That's being quoted as the largest undrilled anticline in onshore Tunisia. And there is, as you can see, the wells have been drilled here in 56 years ago, in the 50s, 52, 54, 55, 56, some 60 years ago. And only one well have been drilled, well, cannot say recently. This is still 25, 26 years ago. So there is a lot of room for improving the play concept and maturing conventional and new objectives. Let me say that the Transmed pipeline is not full, is not running at full capacity, so is able to admit large amount of gas for easy commercialization in Tunisia and outside in Europe. The next slide here, you may be familiar with that. The next two or three slides are taken from the CPR, the Competent Person report, and show the surface geology which superimposed the leads which have been identified in a pre-licensing data room, in the data room that have been prepared for upland ahead of the actual application. So, and I'm numbered, there you can see some numbers here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And those marks the largest, the principal leads that the Competent Person report identified and confirmed. The numbers are here, nothing new. You can see that the Budabu anticline already is flagged as an important lead. And again, another picture, another figure from the CPR showing the existing seismic coverage. And you can see that the eastern part of the license has been is covered by decent seismic density. The grid is quite new and consistent. But the feature here, the number 4 feature, the Budabu, is not covered at all. There's only one important line here going through the southern termination, southern end of the anticline, but the rest of the anticline is not covered by any seismic. Another point which I would like to make, speaking of to this slide, is that the Saouaf license is actually the combination of 3 previous exploration permits. One was just the eastern part. Another was the western part, and the southeast corner was yet another, the 3rd permit. So this is the first time that a single license covers the Budabu anticline, and you can notice that the old border was actually running through the anticline. So no previous operator was really focusing on that because was partially outside their license. In this case, the feature is mostly within the Saouaf license, and that helps a lot with the exploration program. Going to the SIPs, there are several SIPs all throughout the permit, some of them relating to the outcrop of source rock, mature source rock. Others are migrated hydrocarbons, indicating a mature and working petroleum system. And most of the seeps have been studied, all of the seeps have been studied by ETAP in detail using geochemical tracing, geochemical biomarkers, and all top technology characterization of those seeps. ETAP provided an interesting, very detailed geochemical report, whose conclusions is that all the known analyzed seeps within the block, but one, can be related to a known source rock in the shallow section, in the post-Triassic section of the sedimentary record here. The oil seep, which is an exception, is this one here, marked with this green circle, which is located on Jebel Garsi. And this is a light oil show, which does not correlate with any of the known post-Triassic source rock present and well known in the area, which we know have been feeding and generating oil and gas for other oil and gas fields nearby. And that is attracted my attention, in the sense that we know we have indications from this light oil source. First of all, it is a light oil. It's not heavy oil like others we can see around the block. And that indicates, first of all, another source rock active in the area. And second, the indication is that this source rock is deep and indicates a mature source rock. The most likely candidate, frankly, is the well-known hot shale formation, member of the Silurian formation, which is a very well-known source rock in North Africa, and an excellent source rock, and frankly, one of the best source rocks in the world, which is interpreted to extend under the salt in this location. And so the next phases of the work program will be directed to confirm the genetic relationship between this particular Jebel Garsi light oil seep and the Paleozoic source rocks known in the south of Tunisia. So thinking about what are the geological implications and exploration implications of this important feature, this light oil, which does not correlate to the post-Triassic source rocks in the area. That's led me to think and put together a few elements, like where the Silurian and Paleozoic source rock exists and where it is anticipated to be. This is a regional slide which shows with the green dots the total organic carbon, of the Silurian in various locations, from Libya here to southern Tunisia, to even to Morocco. And the other characteristic, the other important feature which I show in this slide is the regional extent of the Triassic salt formation. Salt is very special in the sense that a thick salt formation like the Triassic salt here in Tunisia and Algeria and Morocco is a perfect topsy. So when you talk about prospectivity and a petroleum play, you have to think about four main elements. The source rock, which is the most important fundamental element of any petroleum system. Then an important one is the top seal, and here we have the Triassic salt. Then the trap and the reservoir rock. So the presence of a possible, a possible Paleozoic source rock at Saouaf, coupled with the presence of a thick and a very extensive, very widespread Triassic salt formation, leads to the concept of a possibility of finding important amounts of gas and condensate because of the depth, the anticipated depth of the source rock at Saouaf. And that's not the only place where this happens. Not far away, in northern Algeria, there is a giant oil gas field called Hassi Hermel. Is a true giant. Is 85 trillion cubic feet of gas trapped by salt, trapped by the Triassic salt, and the source by the Silurian source rock, which is mature nearby. And in recent years, also other companies have been thinking about extrapolating this subsalt play to the west in Morocco. So happened that they were in this particular location, Tendrara, in easternmost Morocco. The key elements of the pre-salt play all exist. There were strong indication of a source rock, of Silurian source rock mature, a strong indication wells penetrating the salt, and so the salt top seal was there. There were indication from the seismic of the existence of traps, structural traps, and also of reservoir. So sound oil, with the help of Schlumberger, drilled the Tendrara discovery, and now this discovery have been quantified at almost 1 TCF of gas, recoverable gas discovered, plus 8 TCF of potential gas resources in the same block. So here the proposition becomes, what about if we extrapolate the subsalt play to the east? And that is our proposition. So the strategic direction now is to continue analyzing and interpreting the vintage data with the dual objective, confirming and quantifying and de-risking the post-Triassic prospectivity, mostly in the Cretaceous, and seeking confirmation of the presence and the quantifying the pre-salt play in Saouaf. This is really the exciting news that I would like to convey today. And to give you an anticipation of the documentation work that we are doing now, that Upland is conducting now, I like to show this schematic cross section, which is composed really of two cross section, geoseismic cross section, put together to show the easterly dip which is documented in the existing seismic, and the westerly dip, which is implied and documented by the single line we have, and by the regional dip under the Atlantic thrust system. And we know that this feature here, the Budabu, dips to plunges to the south, and there is a quite convincing evidence on the gravity anomaly data that there is a saddle dividing, separating the Budabu structure from the nearby continuation at EH, the EH structure here, which I show in this particular cross section. So, in essence, I'm really happy to comment and to illustrate this transformational play, which have been identified within the Saouaf license. and the proposition is to extend to the east the successful testing of the pre-salt play, which already happened in eastern Morocco. So that's really concludes my presentation.
Okay. Now, all questions are welcome. Please ask us any question you want. Thank you, Roberto.
Hi,
Thank you, Roberto.
Can you hear me there, Roberto?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Great. Thanks for the presentation, Roberto. Just to quickly, I guess, summarize, looking at the license, I'm just kind of, just so I can clarify this myself, the Saouaf license has infrastructure in place, so it's got pipelines running through it, and it seems to already have some gas discoveries and plays on the license. And what you're indicating is that there's a deeper pre-salt play which has unique characteristics to any of the other kind of gas plays that are on the license, and it does that. So are we saying that correlates across to some of the larger discoveries that have been seen in Algeria and other areas like that?
Yes. Let me be specific and precise. Yeah. The light oil of Gebel Garsi has been analyzed to the fullest, with all the details of the biomarker, etc., in a very thorough way. And in spite of the enormous amount of geochemical data that ETAP has in central and northern Tunisia, that particular light oil cannot be correlated to the three main post-Triassic source rock known to be working in the area, which is the Fadene, Albian Aptian, the Cenomanian Turonian black shale, and the Triassic, the tertiary Eocene, I believe, source rock, which also is present in northern Tunisia and to the east offshore. The next point is to ask precisely ETAP to compare the geochemical characterization of Gebel Garsi to the oil which is known to be sourced by the Paleozoic source. And there is plenty of data from producing fields in the south of Tunisia. And that will be a confirmation of the presence of the Silurian source rock. Could be the Devonian source rock, but let's see exactly. What we know now is that it's a light oil, it's not a heavy oil, and doesn't correlate to the Cretaceous sources and post-Cretaceous sources known in the area. So by exclusion, I would say is very justifiable to hypothesize that is a Silurian source rock mature within Saouaf. That's one element of the play, source rock. The second element of the play, which is really characterized throughout North Africa, and that's is the direct similarity, the second direct similarity with the Hassi R'Mel and the Tendrara, is that the Triassic salt formation exists and acts indeed as a top seal at those two locations, particularly Hassi R'Mel. And in general, I would like to add that also another really large gas discovery recently done in the Eastern Mediterranean by ENI in offshore northern Egypt, called Zor, is also capped and sealed by evaporized by salt of a different younger age, of Miocene age instead of Triassic age, but salt is salt, and the sealing function is identical. So I'm really here. My proposition is, and the upland strategy is to follow the fundamentals and see mature new prospectivity, new leads and prospects, following the fundamentals like, as I said, source rock, topsoil, structure, and reservoir. ZOR is a typical, is a very good result, which is the direct result of this systematic scientific database approach by a major oil company like Eni. But the same process can be followed by, as I said before, by any oil company, even the smallest one.
Gentlemen, could I ask a question, please?
Sorry?
Please go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hello. Yeah, my name is Robin Mays. I'm a fairly new shareholder to the registry. I'm not sure if this is a question for Roberto or one of the others. It strikes me that Upland is a really small company at the moment with very limited resources, but you have some potentially enormous assets. You know, you've got quite an ambitious work program here. Is this something you can do by yourselves, or are you contemplating perhaps getting partners in to help you with this? Where are you at with this?
This is the exploration work program, which will be culminating in drilling a well, and I anticipate a fairly deep well too. This is will be a rank exploration well. That is a hunting ground for major oil companies. So the ambition here is to mature, add value by maturing the concept and the prospectivity. But when it comes to big spending, it is wise and prudent to invite a major oil company to join.
So you're not talking to anybody at the moment. There's no other. You're doing all this by yourself at the moment.
At the moment, yes. But the company announced interest by major oil companies way back. If you go back through the RNS of last year and the year before, and that interest continues. So we know they watch us. We are under scrutiny, so to speak, and we keep hearing the breathing on our neck. But that's good. That's good because it means that major oil companies are interested in what we are doing, and we hope to materialize and satisfy that interest.
Okay, good. And so the work program you're going to undertake now, once you've done it, there's $1 million which will be released, I gather. So, but how are you going to, how much is this program going to cost you directly to do now? How are you going to fund it, and how long is it going to take, and when are we going to see the results?
I think the company announced nothing new here. Announced what the commitment is, and I believe the convention is publicly available from the Tunisian state authorities, so it is easy to verify that the commitment is for reprocessing some vintage seismic lines for an amount of $50,000, a minimum commitment. And the shooting, the acquiring of the 300 kilometers of new seismic is earmarked at $2.3 million. So I suspect that the best way to address the financing of such an important piece of work program would be either to seek for extra funds from the market, but that would be diluting the shareholders, or starting a prudent farm out process.
Okay, so when you're going to start this farm process, because that's a lot. You don't have those resources at all. If you go into the market now, you'll be absolutely, everyone will be diluted so badly. So you really do need to farm this out, don't you?
No. I think the company has the resources to finish the current phase of works, and so maturing the prospectivity, arriving to risk-ranked numbers, and those numbers are the key. If indeed, by terminating the interpretation, which is ongoing now, if we demonstrate on the basis of actual data that the pre-sold play is indeed as promising, as big as I think, then I suppose that the question will be posed in a different view from a different viewpoint.
Okay, so to understand this, you are going to spend about 50,000 reprocessing the existing data, build a coherent picture of what you think is there, and then you're going to seek a farm-out partner to help fund the $2.3 million worth of seismic work.
Yeah, the decision is not taken yet, but that is certainly
is that the plan? Is that roughly the plan?
Yes, to follow.
Right. Okay. That's sounds like a coherent plan.
Yeah. Very, very focused. I like stressing that you have to know what you are doing in a way, even in reprocessing. A simple reprocessing can be done, just like that, or focused on a specific target. And in this particular case, the reprocessing will be fairly cheap, fairly nothing exceedingly costly, but focused on improving the image at the base salt, which is up to now been poor for historical reasons, because no previous operator thought about this possibility, the prospectivity of the sedimentary section below the base of the salt. And
so how long is this going to take, this reprocessing?
Weeks.
Okay.
We're talking about 2 or 3 possibly long lines across the permit, across the Budabu structure, or the twin structure to the north.
So by the end of October, you will have a better picture of what you've got there, what you think you've got there?
Yeah, that's is the intention, and we would like to explain to illustrate the results at the next technical committee meeting with our joint venture partner ETAP around end of October, early November.
Okay, so we should get an update about what's going on, sort of beginning November, hopefully, of where you are with that.
Let's see. If we have interesting results, the company may decide to release a further RNS and having further communications with the investors, with the public.
Okay, thanks. I'll let someone else can have a go now.
Could I step in there, please?
Yeah, go ahead, Simon. Yeah.
Hi, thank you. Can I just ask for, in effect, a repetition of that from a corporate head office point of view? Much as I appreciate your input there, Roberto, I'd really like to hear it from the chairman of the PLC, what the corporate strategy and the plan is.
Now, on the Tunisia side, our long-term, near-term plan, once we have evaluated the assets, we will go into farming. This is our strategy. Yeah, and then for the short-term work commitment, we have sufficient fund, in particular, to meet our contractual obligation with CITAC, i.e., to reprocess some legacy lines. And that's what Roberto was explaining to you, and we are expecting it to cost less than 50,000. And then for this year, but we have sufficient fund to cover the work which we have asked Roberto to assist us. So hopefully that once we hopefully the result will come out very good, and they will attract maybe more farmers on the assets. Yeah, currently, as Roberto was mentioning, there is a big player showing some interest in our asset, and we are still at the NDA stage at the moment. Yeah, may disclose at the moment. Yeah, finalizing the NDA. Is it all, Roberto? Yeah.
And
Okay.
you're happy with that indicated timetable, are you, Mr. Chairman? That by the end of October, middle of November, this work will have been completed, and we will know then where the
Yes, that's right. We
plan
have planned
goes.
it out. Our technical committee has timelined it out already. All the work packages ahead of us, and one of them is, which is the fourth or the fifth phase, Roberto? The fourth. The fourth phase,
Yes.
which is reprocessing. Yeah,
We have a work program in steps internally.
Yeah.
Okay,
Does
so
that answer your question, Simon? Is it okay?
I think it does. I've seen the word transformational twice on the slides. One of them was transformational 2020 work program. Suppose I just want to be reassured that it's not suddenly going to become a 2021 transformational work program and then a 2022, because we've been at this for 2 years already. And from a shareholder point of view, I'm wondering when the company is going to realize value for shareholders from all of this analysis. There must be a strategy and a plan to do that.
Yeah. One of them is after the study, we will be able to see the result of it. Roberto, as our team leader, technical team leader, is very optimistic that we may see some good results. Hopefully, we can by end of October, as was said earlier, we may be able to complete and get some picture of what those legacy lines will give us before we plan for the 300-kilometer lines in 2021, as it is today. Yeah, as it is today. Yeah.
Okay,
and it will cost
thank
us 2.3 million, as Roberto was saying earlier.
Yeah, I can further comment that the transformation is really from a conventional view of the prospectivity of the block to an enlarged view, which adds to the Cretaceous prospectivity already documented in the CPR, an extra element, which in my opinion is material, is really worth following.
Okay, thank you.
More? Thank you, Simon.
Mr. Chairman, just an add-on from Simon's question there. If Robin Mays here, I asked a couple of questions earlier.
Robin, okay.
Yeah. You just said there is a big player showing interest on the license. This big player, this is not your existing JV partner. This is another big player, is it, who is sniffing around or interested?
That is right.
Is that what you're
they contacted me. Was it 2-3 weeks ago, Roberto? 5 weeks?
Yeah, 2-3 weeks.
I can remember now. 3 weeks ago, and we have online call with the regional manager for Africa and Asia, and their business development manager. So at that stage, we were going to exchange NDA with them, and then we are waiting for their feedback on the NDA we get them.
So
they gave us the NDA to us, and then we revise it and get it back to them. Is that right, Roberto?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you mean you exchanged an NDA? So this is you're doing.
No, sorry. He gave us the NDA, the template. We reviewed it. We didn't like some of the terms in there, so we passed it back to them.
Correct.
Okay, so this is terms. This is terms for a farming agreement of some sort. Is this?
For the expecting the data, access to a data room.
Okay, so they're seeking terms to access your data room. Is that what you're talking about?
Correct. No, Bol Hassan. That is NDA is doesn't constitute how can I say a participation contract. It's just the permission to see under certain confidentiality clauses to see and inspect and evaluate the data.
Gotcha. Okay, so literally you're saying, right, okay, they want to see that you go into the data room, and you're saying that's fine, but you're not allowed to talk about it. You've got to keep this confidential to come into our data room. Okay, so that's the conversation you're having with them at the moment, effectively.
Correct.
Okay, fine. Well, that's interesting. Okay, well, that'd be great if they come in.
We feel the the breathing on our neck.
Right. Well, you want that, don't you? You want people to be interested, presumably.
Sorry?
You want people to be interested in what you're doing.
Yeah. That's right.
Very much so. Okay. Robin, yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Joe, you're quiet today?
Yeah, I'm very quiet. No questions.
Anything else, gentlemen? Matthew?
Well, I guess while you're here, it would be wrong of me not to ask, is everything progressing as planned in Sarawak and Brunei? I know you don't want to talk about it now, but is everything progressing to your liking on that front?
Yes, everything is going in the right direction. It's nothing to worry. Yeah.
Good to hear. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
We're shareholders. We always worry.
So am I. I'm a shareholder as well.
And we are working hard to satisfy you.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Simon. Yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, could I just, sorry, I don't know a huge amount about where you are with Sarawak and Brunei. It looks very interesting, intriguing. Can you just give me a quick summation as to where you are with that? How are things progressing? Are you, where are you with it? What's going on?
Okay, two things. First, let me answer you on Sarawak. Sarawak has been a long story. Okay, it's dragging on because of some legal constitutional matters between the state and the federal government, and that past has been cleared recently. Then there is an understanding. One of the understanding is that they pay for the sales tax, which they did pay finally. Petronas did pay finally on the 17th of September. I think the figure was 2.9 billion ringgit, which is a lot of money for us. Yeah, and then which means also that the past has been cleared for Petros to engage in licensing permit, licensing, etc. They're in that process at the moment. Yeah. On the Brunei side, it's progressing quite well. And then do you know the block it is in? Yeah, okay. You don't know the block it is in? Yeah, okay. We didn't tell you, did I? We didn't tell them, Shasha, right? On the block?
That is commercially sensitive.
Yeah, okay.
No,
so we're not allowed to say that.
Well,
but
it's only known to you.
It's progressing well. If I may say, we will have on Monday a conference call with the Brunei Petroleum Authority of Brunei, PAB. And then that's what I can tell you. But at 9 o'clock Brunei time, we will have a call with our partner in Brunei and also with the PAB, Petroleum Authority of Brunei. At 9 o'clock Malaysian time, Brunei time, which is 2 a.m. your time, okay? 2 a.m. your time. Yeah, so that's how far I can tell you now. Hopefully, we can progress to another level from there.
So the dialogue is continuing anyway.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
That's encouraging. How often have you been speaking with the authorities in Brunei, or is this a new phase?
There has been communication by letters, by email, and this is the first time face-to-face with them on Monday.
Brunei's been in lockdown for a long time as well, so it's quite difficult. But there are
one of our local
directors, Aimi, is leading the way, and he's been working with our MOU partners for some time in discussions. So there was a recently announced MOU, official MOU, with a local oil services company named Vidacom.
Okay.
I don't think Aimi's on the call to update there, but I think it's something that we need to keep going in the background. Paul Hassan's obviously updated that there are current and live discussions, but probably best leave it at that for the moment, I think.
Yeah,
Paul Hassan, unless you have something else to add?
Yeah. We want to focus Tunisia because Tunisia is quite heavy at the moment. Yeah, we want to really focus it, get the picture right. Hopefully we can have some good news in November. Yeah. By end of October, hopefully we get some good news and inform you guys, hopefully as soon as possible in November. Yep. Anything else? Andrew?
Morning, Bal Hassan. How are you?
I call you because I can see you, and I don't see other people's photos. Okay.
Well,
I see Neil, I see Matthew, I see Dave, and then I see you. I see Joe as well. So, okay, Andrew.
Just a quick question. The pre-salt play looks very exciting and potentially could have some big numbers attached eventually. How much of the company's resources are now going into that with the reprocessing of the 2D and the shooting of the new seismic and Roberto doing his work? Have we been distracted now because that seems like a biggie, or are we still working with the conventional players at the same time in Tunisia?
Can you answer that, Roberto?
I would say that the preliminary evaluation of the, I call it conventional for lack of a better term, but I would say the previous identified prospectivity, that is there, that is already a CPR there. If by the interpretation of the all of the vintage seismic data, something different comes up, then that will be, of course, a difference which will be announced. But we are not abandoning. We are adding to the previous prospectivity.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, gentlemen? Okay.
I appreciate the call. Thank you very much for doing this. Thank
you very much. Indeed.
I might just ask one question before you go, Bal Hassan. It's Jared here.
Jared,
just because there's some.
Jared,
it's Jared.
Okay, Jared.
Just noting that you've got this meeting on Monday with the Brunei Ministry. Is it likely that you'll get a quick response on whatever block it is you're looking at?
I don't think in over this side of the world there are a few layers of bureaucracy, and then I don't mind telling you now, we want to get exclusivity for at least 6 months if we can. No, they haven't done this in the past. Okay, that's what they said in the letter. They haven't done in the past to give exclusivity to anybody, but we want to try. Yeah, on Monday to discuss. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay. Anything else? Otherwise, we call it a day. And then,
I have one more. I have one more. So you talk about exclusivity.
Jared, okay.
It's Robin Mays here again. Sorry.
Robin. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's me again. Sorry. You talk about exclusivity on this block. You want exclusivity to do what exactly?
To study, to evaluate it using existing data. It's quite a well matched area with 3D seismics even.
Oh, right. Okay. So to give you access to all the data.
Data room study. Yes.
Right. Okay. So to give you access to all the data, go over the ground, have a look at it, get your technical experts to look at it, and then go, yes, we want this, or no, we don't want it, and then hopefully do a deal.
That's right. Yeah.
And as part of a
for at least 6 months.
Sorry.
For at least 6 months. Yeah.
Okay.
We try our best, Robin, because according to Brunei, they have never given this to anybody before. Maybe we can convince them this COVID time. I mean, let's be flexible a bit, you know. so anyway, okay, there was a meeting, face-to-face meeting before the COVID with them, with not with the authority, but with our agents in Brunei. And look there. Sorry, I cannot say this. Okay, no, not allowed to say. Okay, but anyway, there was a meeting. Okay. Before the COVID era, physical meeting. Chris and Amy went to Miri and met some people. That's all. Yeah. Okay. But after that, we cannot enter Brunei. Neither they can come here. Yeah. Okay. Is that okay, Robin, for you?
Yeah. That's good. That gives me some understanding of where you're at. So you see, you want the exclusivity. So i.e., they've got this block. You're trying to have a good look at it to decide whether or not you want to develop it or progress it, and you're wanting basically to have this to yourself for 6 months.
I have a lot of interest in this. Yeah, we want to really work hard. Roberto is working hard, and for your information, Roberto extended 6 technical committee meeting lasting 2 hours, 1 hour plus 3 hours, and free of charge. Okay, that's how much committed this is to help us. Okay, so everybody is working hard. All the directors are working hard, supporting each other in this venture. Especially Tunisia is hot on the plate for us now. because that's why we are very excited, and then try to answer as many questions as possible from points raised by our investors, which come by, they send to us. That's why Sasha, we talked to Sasha, let's organize something for general public, everybody, not for a group of people only. Okay, gentlemen, appreciate it again. Hope to see you soon. Hope we can see you, talk to you again in November. Is that right? Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Yeah,
Ciao,
thank you very much.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Bye-bye for now.